Ah, damn. There we go. Leaving that in there. Leaving it in there.
It's Too Terp.
Alright, so we're gonna do the first question right off the bat. You ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Alright, so do you freestyle?
You got freestyle. You know, I don't have any bars.
Alright, hey, I had to try. Alright. Well, like I said, that's the first one.
Alright, so I'm chilling with Two Terps. We're gonna smoke some perp. We're gonna get high tonight. And we gonna... DJ. No, that's all I got.
Hey, I like it. Hey, we like it. Hey, y'all already know it's a TooT3rpd podcast, and it's your boy Donovan, a.k.a. Mr. You Knew What It Was When You Signed Up.
It's Lila, aka your Grow Girl from Grow Gear. I'm back, and we have with us Marne Madison.
Yes, I am the Queen of Terpenes. And this is what I do, terpene education.
Do me a favor, turn the mic up.
Right here.
Like, turn it towards you.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
Right?
That's good?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. It was like it was moving for a second. Okay.
Perfect. All right. And y'all already know we got Socialist T in the building. Not to confuse it with Socialist. Oh, damn, I do that. Yeah, you're right. We got to change your name pretty soon here. Yeah, we about to...
I've been thinking about it.
I was trying to hope that, if I keep on saying it enough, you'll come up with something.
I came up with something, but it mostly drunk thought. But was it Socialist
okay.
T behind the screen?
Wait,
Social.
say it again.
Socialist T behind the screen.
Okay, I like that. Social less.
Yeah.
Tea.
He's not on social media.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, hardcore communist.
Ooh. Save that for another day.
Yeah.
Shit, that's right. We didn't do the round of applause with this audience.
Our live studio audience.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. You know,
Yeah.
professional around here. You see us?
So we did just establish I'm the oldest, but somebody out there might get this reference. Because Socialist T, when I've been listening, I haven't been on for 3 episodes, but I listened to them, and I listened to all that, and it reminds me of Social D, Social Distortion. Do you get the band?
Okay. Yeah.
Anybody? Maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
A
So
little
I was
bit.
thinking about
The
your
eyeliner days.
kind of want to change it to like Social T.
Social T.
Yeah. Even though you're not. I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah, we gonna figure this out.
Yeah.
All right.
We gonna figure this out.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, this is gonna be a little rough, y'all. I ain't gonna lie, we've been talking for like 2 hours already, so it's like, where do we even start? This has been one of the realest conversations I done had, for real, yo. This has been a long weighted episode, as a matter of fact. I've been wanting to have you on the show.
Well,
I
thank
definitely got to
you.
say that, like, start out with, yeah.
I definitely appreciate it. I'm very happy to be here. What you're doing, the platform that you're creating is amazing. Keep going. Keep doing it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right, so before we get started in this interview, how does it feel to finally be back,
I know. I feel really rusty. Thankfully, we don't drink every episode.
No, we don't.
Today, we decided we don't drink most episodes, but every now and then we do. And
It's Thirsty Thursday.
it is, yeah. So that helping me like ease back into it because it's been a few weeks. I went out of town. My kid got COVID. Things like that.
Yes, all the unexpected things, huh?
Yeah, but I did
Drinks.
just see you a couple weeks ago. You did come out to our 1-year anniversary party and bring the Florvort. How do I say it?
You said it right.
I did?
Yes.
Hey.
Congrats. Thanks.
You came out and educated our customers
Yes.
about medical certifications, and appreciate you coming out. That was a lot of
Yes,
fun. It was
thank you.
record-breaking heat.
Was it that day?
Yes. You kept saying
felt
you
great.
like it.
Yes.
I know.
I love the heat.
You said that was record-breaking heat?
It was.
That
it
was
was the
nothing.
hottest on
Yes,
record.
But
for
you
me.
know,
okay.
Yeah, they
Okay,
did
okay.
say it on the news that day.
Yeah,
and I
it was
like,
literally.
Yeah, it was weird. They were like 2 degrees over what the high was.
It was hot.
Yeah, but
It was hot.
It was a normal day.
I like the heat, though. See, I like the
Yes,
heat.
me too. But we had a great time. We had a great turnout of patients. That was one of the biggest drives we've had. So it was
Cool.
very exciting. The patients had great questions
Nice.
about, being awesome patients in the Missouri industry as well as, needing renewals. So anywhere that we can be in the community and being, supportive and accessible is always great. So thank you so much, Grow Gear.
Oh yeah, thank you for coming. It was really fun. we'll try to do something like that once a year.
Yeah. Shout out to Girl Girl. That was a dope event, yo.
Yeah, and my daughter was able to come. She was very excited. We planted tomatoes, and they're like out on the porch sprouting right now. So we really had a good time. Yes.
Okay, I really appreciate you saying that, because that is one thing, like, our events will be and are always wholesome. Like, we always want kids to be there. We always want to do things. We had face paint. We want to have, like, activities like planting seeds and doing things like that so that the kids can be there. It's a wholesome vibe. Everybody should come with that attitude. You know what I mean? So, yeah, cool.
That was dope. All right, so what about you, Socialist? How's your week been?
It's been interesting.
Yeah?
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah. Okay.
Had my car broken into 2 nights ago, which was fun.
Oh, shit.
No.
That was on purpose. That was the whole thing.
Oh.
Because I had somebody leave a bunch of dairy products in there, and so I was letting it air out.
Wait, why?
We just had leftovers, and then got in my car when it was the hottest day on record. And I was like, nope, roll the windows down, park on Cole and Tucker, go to work.
Oh, okay.
And then...
Cole and Tucker.
Yeah. I was like, all windows down. I was like, oh, it's probably fine. Then a little bit later, heard car door slam. I was like, oh, great. Went outside, just hear somebody not having it. Look, there's a puddle next to my car. I was like, so disgusting that they wouldn't even steal shit from my car.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Worked better than any car alarm I've ever had.
Yeah. That's pretty smart.
Smart.
For real, though. Nah, for real. You know how often they break into the cars like that?
Yeah, you just leave it open, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's bad nowadays. Just
right.
take everything in the house. And, like, even leave, like, I'll leave a note on the window. Everything's open. Please don't bust the window. Catch at me if you do bust it.
Right.
For real. But no, we definitely have to get it together in St. Louis.
Oh, yeah. For sure, man. I'm trying to roam the streets again, man.
Why? Just because all of a sudden the weather's nice, everybody thinks they need to go out.
Heck yeah. We've been stuck in the house for 3 years.
That's true.
I've always belonged to the streets.
Oh,
Lola.
my God.
Oh, no. Are you like, dun, dun, dun. Are you from the streets?
Not like that.
Oh.
You know, like the club streets and all that.
Yeah, no, I get what
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. I
can't,
feel you.
I can't help it. It's just like, I love it out there, man. It's amazing.
Really? I can't help I love it out there. It sounds like you don't have any kids, so that's good.
Nah.
Congratulations. Enjoy it. You're headed to 30.
Yeah.
Pretty soon. Excited about it?
I am. I'm very excited to turn 30.
Well, you know, there was a rapper that just said, you know, you're touching 30, you got to get out the streets. So, just so you know, it does apply to you too. So have fun, you know. The big
Send Snapchats from the streets.
Your time is counting down. You're turning 30.
Yeah.
Damn, well,
Wrap
you
it
know,
up.
I just got so excited for 30 and I don't know now.
I was just telling you, you have to, you know, switch gears.
Start wearing polos.
I did that in high school, man. I'm good.
Okay, well, since you're going backwards then. So you don't need a nap before you go out, or you do?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Come on now.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering, like, are you, like, immune to that?
Nah, not at all.
Some people are. That's weird, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I don't
no.
know how. Like, I've tried to make it out probably the last 3 years, and I've been asleep.
Now you got to hit that afternoon nap.
I think I'm too busy in the afternoon for the nap.
The weekend?
No, mom duties.
Right.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
See.
I try to go out like one day out like the weekday, like Thursdays would be great, you know. Then it's like now I'm riding the wave. I might make it out somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, for the first time ever.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, man. You just broke my heart, man. Now, I don't know. Now I got to reevaluate life a little bit.
No, it's okay. Do the little the old people party that everyone's doing. Get you some walkers, you know, great hair and stuff. Have fun.
That might have to be it. Yeah, it might
Have to be in bed by like 8:30. So
Yeah. So you have to your parties from like 5.
Have a darty.
Bingo.
Nah, you just have a darty.
A darty.
Day party.
Okay. I've never heard that before.
No?
Okay. We got a 2-terp darty going on.
I like it. It's perfect
like
for
it.
me.
Right?
It's exactly what I need.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I like how you spun this, Marne. See, this is how you really got to do it now. That's what you basically just told me was you just got to do it during the day and not at night.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I found out the cheat code. Okay.
Or read in between the lines. I don't know who's listening that, you know, could possibly be my weekend babysitter, you know, but yeah, so you got to find a time.
Got you. Okay. See.
Yeah, you don't want to tell them, like, no, I don't go out. I don't have a life, you know.
Oh, got it.
During the day. No, you're fine.
Do I need to edit that? I'm out here dropping gems.
Please,
my fault.
yeah, all the secrets.
My bad. Put them back in your pocket. My
yeah,
fault.
I got you.
I think you transition to hosting.
Yeah?
You know what I mean? So, like, you go out, you have your little going out phase, but then you transition to that, then you host, and you still have fun.
And you're making money.
Actually, that is the actual transition that I did want to make. That's why that's why I jumped out, because I was like, you know what? I can't keep burning money in this. I got to figure out a way to, like, make my lifestyle start paying for itself.
Okay. Well, you got it. You got your camera crew right here. And I'm going to be like, oh, my God, is TooT3rp walking in the club right there?
Nah, I don't want to be like that.
No, that's how you got to get your brand up. You got
it is.
Like, someone has to be checking for you. You can't, like, go out and, like, no one's checking. Because then, like, because, like, the host has to bring, you know, the vibe. So you got to, you know.
That's why I stay co-host. Yeah.
So you don't have to do too much. I like that. You show up, like, stay ready, so you don't have to get ready.
Yeah,
and then he has to get ready.
I just like having fun.
That's fine.
I like that. That's pretty. It's a good balance. Yeah. It's pretty good.
I just like partying, so you know, I don't know.
I mean, you say that, and I believe you.
I'm listening,
but
he be falling asleep.
Oh damn, she's in a lane.
No, like you're into, like, party has a lot. It depends on who you're talking to, right?
Right.
Like the word party could come with a whole set of expectations that are like, that's not something I do.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I party, but I don't party. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean,
I party.
I'm not trying to say what you do, but that's just my experience.
Okay.
You know? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like that's me. It's like, what's the level of party? You know, you got your code words. Like my partying was like, so I have to be back in my right mind in less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
So what kind of partying are we doing? But like club and like music, no.
Yes. Exactly.
See, that's my lane. That's where I'm more like. I was like a pops till, like, you know, the sun comes up.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. In my prime, yeah.
Okay. No.
We start in Soulard, then we head to Wheelhouse for the midday until 3 a.m. Then you head over to Pops.
I think after I ate my first few grams of mushrooms, I don't think I needed to party like that ever again.
I just did my first thing of mushrooms not too long ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, welcome to the new world.
I guess. See, I didn't do enough, and I was like,
okay, so you didn't break through.
Yeah, nah.
You need that hero dose coming in.
Yeah. So you definitely got to do at least 3.5 or more, you know. No.
I believe you, but yeah. That's,
have you ever partaken?
I have, yes.
Okay.
Yes, but that's definitely not what you had.
No.
I was like,
Yeah.
I know I didn't. I was just kind of like, I would just want to see what it's like first, just in case. And now it's like, so you ever seen Entourage?
Not familiar with like movie titles. So.
TV show.
Oh, it's a TV show. Well, no.
And so like they kind of had this moment where it was kind of like they were trying to go on to something big, like a major project that they were getting ready to do, and they were trying to find the inspiration to it. And so that's kind of like when I actually want to do like my big like trip. That's kind of be like I'm trying to take that leap
with an intention.
Yeah. So I definitely believe that there should be intentions at all times. People that microdose, for sure. We talk about, you know, traumas, PTSD, veterans, you know, and even those people who, you know, suffer from like childhood traumas. Microdosing is very important because they do have those deficiencies. But when you talk about wanting to break through and really get an understanding of life, it's very important to, you know, work with educators and instructors and people who really, you know, can understand and describe those type of trips that you go on. Mushrooms saved my life, so I definitely am an advocate, along with cannabis, obviously. So with those types of holistic therapeutic benefits and properties, I think as we continue to explore the education and the research, we learn more, and then we're able to have those difficult conversations, especially in like the Black community. It's not compared to other medicines as it should be. So definitely want to break the stigma in that, because it's really important. Comparing veterans to some of the families who possibly grew up in domestic violent households, the balance inside of your fight or flight, having those low balances of omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids are literally the reason why you trip and have those fight or flight correlations. So you can find that imbalance in a lot of the fast foods that we eat. So it's very important to watch what we're eating. Most fast food locations are in, prime, low income family, sectors. So it all plays a role. So I think educating the community, about all the natural resources we have around us are so important. And shout out to Missouri for legalizing cannabis, because like here we are having these conversations every day, and then we're able to go and find companies and bud tenders to help us make those right decisions for us and our bodies.
I like it.
Yeah.
Well, I know you have an event coming up. You said bud tender, so I kind of thought about your event.
Yes. And
I'm interested. You'll have to tell us what it's about, but because, the education piece for the bud tenders, right? Mm-hmm. That is really something that I hope to, I don't go to the dispensary often. Maybe it's happening right now. Is there like a lot of education going on in that space?
Yeah, so I do believe that a lot of companies have taken that sole responsibility of, creating education in-house. So they do like weekly or monthly, meetups or different types of programs or classes. With us working with, and as us, I reference Exit Now. So we are a cannabis nonprofit advocacy group. And we are made up of like social equity, advocates, as well as criminal justice, and we have a lot of great people on our team that want to be impactful, throughout the communities. So together, we create a series of different types of, resources and implementation. We just started our expungement resources, to where we help those people who have nonviolent marijuana offenses. We help them get those records expunged if they have those eligible, cases. So we're now hosting our So Do You Want to Be a Bud Tender event. Next week we have the Cannabis Conference here, June 3rd and 4th. So on June 2nd, we're hosting our Bud Tender live panel and networking mixer. It's at the ZACK Lounge right there off of Locust Street, excuse me. And great news is that it's actually being moderated by one of Leafly's top editors. So we do have Leafly facilitating the live panel and Q&A. So we're super excited to have them on board. We have some amazing managers and bud tenders from a lot of companies throughout the Missouri industry. Definitely, if you want to learn how to become a bud tender, or even how to, be better at your job, you'll hear from a manager panel. So those that work, oversee daily operations, and as well as those bud tenders from all different demographics. We have a great diverse panel. So we are really excited to have everyone on board.
I like that.
So who should come? Anybody who is interested? Okay, so any existing bud tenders that want to be refreshed, keep their skills up, network, learn. Yeah, who should come and what will they expect?
Yes, great questions. So the event is open for everyone. So who should come are bud tenders that are already in the industry, as well as those that are aspiring to be in the industry. It is a free event, so tickets are limited, up for grabs. Get them while they're there. Unfortunately, we are at a set limit, so there won't be any tickets or anything at the door. But yes, anyone who even has an inkling of any type of cannabis enthusiast, ideas, we definitely support you coming to learn more about, because no one really knows what they want to do in the industry when it comes to like, oh, I want to be in the workforce. So we want to help them pinpoint where their skills, would be the best attributes, what companies are probably work best, for them and their personalities. So, yes, anyone is welcome, but we're definitely looking for people who want to get their footing into the cannabis workforce as butt tenders.
Okay. Like it.
And that's when again?
It's June 2nd. Doors open at 6 p.m. The panel starts at 6:45, and our industry mixer starts at 8 p.m. And it's at the ZACK Lounge. I think it's 3224 Locust.
That's a cool venue.
And then for the tickets, where did you say they could get the tickets?
Yes, tickets are on Eventbrite. So search "So You Want to Be a Bud Tender," and they are free. So go for it. Get as many as you need.
Cool.
Okay. All right. Now that we got the business out the way.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and smoke some.
Awesome.
Wait, what happened?
Hey, bro.
What up?
Ready to smoke?
I had a joint. Oh, I dropped it. Look.
Oh, uh-oh.
I got another one too. Okay. So, yeah,
Is
let's
it
get this
Bitcoin?
started. Actually, I think this is some of the stuff that you gave me last time.
Oh, okay, then I'll smoke what I have in this one.
Did you just say Bitcoin?
It's just how things go. It's not to be like that. I was smoking it with you last time.
You were. I'm
I
just
just
saying.
have something I like a little better. If you want some, it's right over there.
Hey, you said it, not me. Hey.
I'm just saying.
Hey, you the messenger this time. Yo.
She said it was
That's what
better
it
than
is.
yours.
No,
Nah, that ain't what you said.
I left it. I
I guess this hurts though.
criticizing
Gotcha.
my own shit.
Yeah,
So, like,
that's what I'm like.
send shots if you want to, but it's at myself. So whatever.
Gotcha.
Like I said, hey, she spoke.
So I get he's like you said it. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I start bringing up the soundboard again.
For real though.
Man.
Oh shit. Okay, so now let's get into your cannabis origins.
Okay.
So when was your first time smoking? When was the first time you really experienced cannabis? Let's feel.
Awesome question. I always feel bad every time I tell this story, so I'm so sorry, Mom. Please forgive me. But I was 14 when I first smoked cannabis. I was a freshman in high school. All my peers at some point, it was like a weekend at school, and I'm like, what is this thing that everyone's doing? I want to try it. So yeah, I had my first J in the bathroom of my high school. Yes.
Oh shit, where you go to school?
Right. I went to.
Your first one? Okay, you said that earlier, and I didn't realize that was the first time you smoked. That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. I can't believe to this day. I cannot believe I did it.
Wow, yo.
Wait, just you?
No, so my friend,
Okay.
so she was a grade above me, and actually, to this day, we're really good friends. I tell her all the time, like, like one time, make it, like, you're on forever, because you gave me my first J. So, yeah, and, like, I transitioned from private to public school.
Really?
Yeah, so it was a culture shocker for me, right? So like everyone was doing something that I didn't know what weed was at. It was never in our household, the smell or anything.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we walked the straight and narrow in my house.
Okay.
So like and then unfortunately, like being an overachiever, like the first week of school, I'm like ace in the math classes. So everyone's like, hey kid, like you gotta figure something out, but stop asking the math teacher if she's collecting homework. And me, I'm like, well,
You're that kid.
Yeah, you was damn.
Yes,
No.
yes. Not no, but
Okay.
yeah. So they're like, smoke some weed, take the edge off,
Hell no.
That's so funny.
And I'm like, and I was like the teacher's pet, but like I just knew that like I was with the wolves, so I was like, you know what, my birthday, I smoked on my birthday. It was like my 14th birthday. Yes, so like, yeah, we got a J for you. So we smoked in the bathroom. Yes, in the bathroom. And like right after we got done, We walked out, and like the security guard was like coming around the corner. We had like 2 sets of steps. Man, I like, literally to this day. So that was my first and last time ever smoking in the school. But I definitely skipped school a lot to smoke weed. Still made all my assignments in on time. Still made basketball practice and all that stuff. Yeah, so
I can relate, but I hung out with a lot of friends who weren't like that. Did you hang out with people who? Because I was like the responsible one out of the ear. Like people weren't fucking meeting their obligations.
Yep.
Go do your assignment, show up for work. You know what I mean? Like. But
so like that was me. So out of the group of the smokers, I was the one who did the homework, and as everyone was smoking, they were copying my paper. Yeah.
See, that would have been me.
Yeah,
that would have been me.
Because like my friends, I'm like, I'm gonna make sure that I don't fail, but like you're my friends, and I care about your success as well. So everyone do the homework, but then my teacher caught on very quickly.
It all looked the same.
Yeah. But she also kind of like. The teachers knew me. I went from public to private, so like they were like, "Okay, Marne, we're going to change your test. Your questions are going to be a little different." And I'm like, I can't tell them. Like,
but you said you started going to private.
Well, no, I went from private to public.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, like, the teachers wanted to look out for me. They were like, we know they're taking your homework, Marne. So they kind of made it to where instead of me having to tell my peers, like, to not copy off of me, they were just like, because, like, at that point, people were just taking my homework. It was like, I was just on the bus, like, hey, give me your homework, So, like, she would grade my paper, but then everyone else, they didn't even read the questions. So, like, question 3 on my page would be question 5, and they're just like, the Gettysburg Address. And it's like, no, bro, she's asking about Ronald Reagan right now. So that was life. Every day, from that freshman day up into my freshman year of college. And I actually, I was smoking one day. The strand was Blue Dream. Okay. It's my favorite to this day. Wow. Yes. And for some reason, I went through my, things as trying to figure out myself. And, cannabis really helped, with my mood. So it was something that I knew I needed, but I just didn't have the answers to why I needed them. And I just got done smoking, and there was a lecture at Washington University. If you all ever heard of Dr. Sue Sisley, she's one of the top cannabis doctors and researchers. Think she's from Phoenix, Arizona, but of course, like the entire West Coast is what she, travels and educates. And there I was sitting in my dorm room, and she was about to do a lecture about the endocannabinoid system. So I'm at UMSL, and the Metrolink's right there, and I hop on the Metrolink to head to WashU, because this lady was going to tell me about the endocannabinoid system. And once I learned about the ECS, it was just full-fledged, train out of the station. But the important part was that I was able to pinpoint the reason that I just may have lacked the cannabinoids that I needed, right? Because this is a deficiency for some or most people. And that was the most important part. Finding out why I felt the need to smoke and what I needed to consume. And that's really where, this led me to where I am now.
Huh. You really, wow.
Yeah, so I almost got expelled from school.
To really using it, to its full purpose.
As a complete plethora of its scientific properties, yes. The terpene entourage effect is so amazing. I try to educate patients every day about, the terminology and the definitions of cannabis, especially in the, industry and when you go into retail spaces. It's really important to understand, for one, if you are consuming for any type of health conditions or reasons, any type of reasons, then you really should have a journal. You should be documenting how those terpenes made you feel. because that's where we start getting that correlation. When you say, oh, okay, well, I like indica or I like sativa, and then you realize that, well, I may have had this type of, indica and it didn't make me feel like the last one. And you just kind of start, you can use like different apps and stuff to really understand, the terpenes that are in there. And you start realizing that you have common terpenes that your body is responding to. And then over time, which is why home grow is so beautiful, you can become, your own genetics breeder. So when you talk about like cancers and, fibroids and things like that, especially so women's reproductive health systems is really like kind of how I got here. I was becoming an herbalist, which is really like a self-proclamation for most people, but studying herbs and really understanding it's like damiana, mullein leaves and everything. So cannabis was just another herb for me, and nerding out in the research is where I found like the actual beauty and what I like to call our master regulatory receptors. So
that is dope.
Okay, I gotta ask, because we had posted like a Q&A, and that was one of the questions was, I wish I could pull it up, but it was basically like, do you
sativa versus indica one?
Yeah.
Okay. Sativa versus indica. Just marketing fluff and labels to describe the effect. Is it about the terps? And that's shout out Millie Mills Pharmacy.
Okay, yeah, shout out to Millie Mills Pharmacy, because that's an amazing question. So, just as we were just talking about, excuse me. So, yes, it's definitely, it's not a marketing tactic, but of course, companies have to use it to market, because, they either lack the research and knowledge, or honestly, at this pivotal point, being profitable is very important. We have to educate our patients more on terpenes, so that when they go into these dispensaries, they're talking about the terpenes. And as we continue to talk about that, we have to educate the bud tenders. So yes, when you talk about, once again, sativas and indicas, we all could be sitting here smoking an indica, and we're all going to get a different type of effect. And right. No one's going to be wrong or right, So we all have the same way the plant has a phytocannabinoid, we have the endocannabinoid. So as long as we use those different types of, terpenes to our advantage, as we learn over time what responds to us, once again, we can create that genetic that works specifically to your genetic DNA. So I think at this point, what's important for, cultivation companies and dispensaries is really marketing terpene education, which I think they are, gradually doing. Like, everyone has to learn at some point. You have a lot of ancillary companies, like you have grow stores that really sell products that help maximize the yield, of terpenes present. Understanding, even how you preserve terpenes at the most pivotal times, of curing. It's very important to make sure you're not, freezing them and drying them out. But yeah, so I think sativa and indica served its purpose, which we compare, like, the prohibition in California and everything. Like, we had to open up the door. So we had to learn about the plant. And now that we have all this, independent research and we're learning more about it, it's time to really even go back to CBD. Like, there's a lot in CBD that we just skipped over. When we talk about the terpene entourage, it's important. CBD is the most important thing. Next to, the terpenes. So the CBD potency should definitely be greater than the THC in my eyes, so please don't kill me. I'm sorry.
It's rare. It's hard to find.
It is, because unfortunately we have the lack of the education in the culture at the moment. But as we continue to have these conversations, and as we continue to help, assist in the curing of patients and their ailments, like, just facts, will change those perceptives. Everyone wants to be, dabbed out and everything, and that's fine too. But I love to correlate that, even when we talk about mental health awareness, for some people like myself, that's literally why I am here advocating for this plant, because I know where I was, and I knew that when I started using it as a medicine, I am in such a better place. And we have to, for one, hold ourselves accountable as we, use the plant and as we continue to be patients, throughout the industry.
Mm-hmm.
So terpenes over sativa versus indica.
So what would be the essential things that you would need to know about terpenes?
So that's an amazing question. You guys you got me on my square. So it's hard to pinpoint because obviously, so the first thing I like to say for those who don't know what the heck terpenes are. So terpenes are the flavor and the aroma that you find in the cannabis plant. But you also find this inside of fruits, vegetables, flowers, anything that you have that response to once you bite into something fresh, or, you get that whiff of, a great smelling, rose. That's the terpene, and it was called a terpenoid or a flavonoid in those type of fruits and vegetables. It has the same properties as in cannabis. So when you talk about having, for instance, like a terpene diet, if you are a patient who at this point has started pinpointing that humulene, which is a terpene. You have the beta-carotene, that's a terpene. We know beta-carotene works well with our eyes, so you correlate that to being, high in carrots, right? So if I'm a glaucoma patient, my terpenes should be focused on, beta-carotene and those that work well with it, like something subtle like a linalool, so that like I'm not, stuck not working or still being productive after I, medicate. Right. So that's the most important part, being able to medicate my body, but also be able to be functional, and most prescriptions that we, try to, alleviate, and then we substitute for cannabis. We also have to be cautious about, our tolerances, So it's very important. I think if you follow a terpene guide, so like myrcene is found in mangoes. I know everybody's kind of seen the meme of like, oh, I get higher if I smoke and then eat a mango.
Right. Have you ever heard that? I never heard that.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, it's like everywhere now, because so myrcene is like one of the most common terpenes across, in the world. Right. So you can find terpenes in most of the things that you eat, or and consume or smell. Okay. So with that being said, if you are someone who wants to be relieved from a specific type of condition, I suggest doing a lot of research for one. And really, I know it's like Google, but it's like obviously that's like the most common search engine, or at our fingertip teacher that we have. Right. So of course, do your due diligence. But yeah, even as simple as saying what terpenes help with this condition. You would get research from some of the top, magazines and, researchers. And that would really help you, get to where you need to be. But most important, journalize your results, because that's what's important. You walk into your retail dispensary store, and then you're like, well, hey, no, I don't want, Sunset Sherbet, because although it does have myrcene in it, unfortunately it has limonene, and I unfortunately, because some people how they have the response to the ginger, it tastes like soap and stuff.
Oh, cilantro.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So one of the terpenes, limonene, actually does the same for some people, and it's limonene is lime, lemons, it's the citrusy kind of stuff. It's like the pine sol kind of thing. Yeah, so just it's up to you to learn your body when it comes to this plant. It's medicine,
And I always kind of think of it like even, and it's not the same, but like SSRIs, like depression, anxiety medications. Like I know a lot of people on those, and a lot of times the first one they try doesn't work for them. Like Zoloft doesn't work.
Yeah.
I got to do Wellbutrin or like this or that. And then I had to adjust the dosage to like 5, 10. I hear that all the time from like my friends that are on those kind of medications. And I think it's a lot the same for cannabis. People just respond all differently. You know, everybody's system, depending on what you got going on, might like something different.
So that is very, very true. And coming from someone who suffered from a lot of mental health conditions and never chose to use pharmaceutical prescriptions because of that exact reason. I had friends, you know, that went through the same things, but, you know, and I, you know, had a therapist, but just, you know, refused those particular prescriptions. And really hearing people say that they were in a worse space than they were in when they, you know, before they, you know, took the medicine. And I just didn't think that I was strong enough to overcome those. I was actually quite afraid of getting the help that I needed when it came to the prescription, because what if I get the wrong one the first time, you know? So that is, and that's actually when you talk about a lot of different prescriptions. For one, the health industry in America is the top, you know, lucrative paid industry, you know, in North America, because when we correlate health in, you know, into other countries and even in comparison to third world countries, we see a totally different structure of the relationship between doctors and people who are sick. I definitely think we are being exploited, of course, as being sick people, and it's actually pretty sad. So shout out to cannabis, you know, for really taking its power and its forefront back, because as we all know, prohibition hasn't, you know, it wasn't that long ago when this was a commonality in our homes, you know, and there was a reason, and we have support. So now that we do have it, you know, as an access, when we talk about the business of cannabis, we still talk about it being a disservice to the patients that need it.
That's like a very important part. A very important point that you just made right there.
Yeah.
About the information not getting to the people that is most important to.
Yeah, like here in the state of Missouri, this was supposed to be a program for senior citizens, veterans, and children. And those are the most unadvocated for groups of people in the last 3 years. Count on your hand, besides the awesome Grow Gear event, where you've been able to, you know, see a family or, you know, children around, very few and seldom, you know. And then when you talk about senior citizens and veterans, no one has a party bus outside of the old folks' home, you know.
That's real shit, though.
Wait, explain this to me.
Yeah, go for it.
What do you mean?
Oh, so, okay, right. And welcome to Missouri.
Wait, do you say the old folks have a party bus?
No, so I'm saying,
Okay.
like, no, so they don't. So, like, we get to go to these really cool
I gotcha.
stoner
Okay.
events. Yeah.
I was like, where is this conversation going? What?
I like
is
where.
happening?
No, I really like where it's going.
I will have a party bus in front of the senior citizens home this summer, actually.
I love it.
Okay, so real talk. When you do that, that might have to be our first event.
Yeah.
Swear, that would.
Yeah.
That's on my bucket list, straight up, to smoke with some senior citizens. You know how hard that would be?
Look, they're waiting for you. So I've been.
That would make my life.
Right?
Yeah, they are.
Show up with that good weed and they
Yeah.
are fucking in. Yeah.
Swear I'm in.
They don't have
telling
the access.
I swear I'm in.
When I started the telehealth clinic, so shout out to Floorvert. We're one of the only Black-owned telehealth clinics in the state of Missouri.
Shout out.
Yes, thank you. And so the main reason was like because of representation. I wanted people to, you know, to be comfortable saying I'm going to a doctor, because once again, they were those that was using this when they were kids and teenagers. You just roll up the paper and either tobacco or cannabis, you know. So they have been the most wronged and the most like terrified, you know, like they like, hey, we had it and one day we did it and we had to like go hide and do it, you know. So like you tell me that it's cool, I'd rather just do it how I've been doing it, right? Well, here I am like, well, like I want to talk to you about terpenes because now you do have arthritis in your hands, you know. So yeah, it's great to smoke, but you also need like some CBD salve too, you know. And like that was the conversation. So so the Department of Health and Senior Services, which is the program that's over our medical cannabis program in they're the department over the program in Missouri. Our Article 14, you know, Amendment 2 of the Constitution basically states that this program, you know, is implemented to assist senior citizens, the veteran, you know, grouping of people, and the children of the state of Missouri. Like, that is why we implemented this program. Mm-hmm. However, we have all of these organizations throughout the state of Missouri that advocate for everything else but those three top groups of people, you know, and of course there's minorities and all of those groupings of people. And we can talk about, you know, DHSS, you know, and not even making their payments to the Veterans Fund that they're supposed to be, you know, donating to, which states inside of the verbiage that a certain percentage, you know, goes to the VA program. So you go to senior citizen buildings and like veteran affair homes, you have, you know, a lot of patients who, for one, either don't have the transportation to access a dispensary, are not allowed to consume because of what type of, you know, federal or government building they're in, or, you know, they are just, you know, home ridden and they, you know, can't get there. So think about, you know, all these home health care agencies throughout the community, right? So most senior citizens that have already, you know, consumed cannabis throughout their lifetime have a allowance or, you know, a set budget for this medicine. So then we have younger people that consume cannabis, and they are CNAs, right? Mm-hmm. So you have people in home health care agencies serving a group of people that lack the accessibility and the resource, who hire those people who do not have the opportunity to be in, you know, the cannabis workforce. Right. So before showing up to their client, they're consuming weed, right? And then they got to put on, you know, the lotions, the perfumes, and throw the gum in their mouth, right? So in a perfect world, if we were able to pair a 420-friendly home healthcare agency with those knowledgeable nurses. That's a CNA is someone working towards being some type of credentialed nurse, right? So there's several like endocannabinoid dietitian programs and courses to where you now know how to make canna butter for your client's toast, can of sugar for their coffee, you know, oil and tinctures throughout the day. And now your client's still knitting, doing bingo, but also if they want to see the doctor, you know, a cannabis doctor, if they want to talk about, you know, things that they're experiencing, you now have that infrastructure in your business to partner and, you know, be an ancillary asset to a whole group of people. But we have yet to see these type of resources. I haven't seen a senior citizen 420 party yet. Go pick those people up and show them some appreciation.
Oh my God, my dad would be in there.
Listen, like, it would be sold out.
No,
you hear me?
I'm with it, yo, so, for real.
And honestly, he's good where he's at right now. But in the future, we need to think about these things. Yeah. And he's going to need a place that's friendly to cannabis because that's part of his life. And he's not going to give it up just to be in a retirement home.
Like, exactly.
It's crazy.
He's just going to smoke his room.
Yeah, and he does not eat edibles. I've tried. No. I've tried.
I don't eat weed. I do not eat weed. Shout out to Dad.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
Well, it's a whole different, you know, the science behind that, you know, but real, because I would definitely love to talk about that as well for those that do not know about the edibles. But yeah, so as far as like the senior citizen tour, like this is like, you know, like an entire thing though. But most importantly, like understanding that people that already run these, you know, profitable businesses are like, no, I'm not going to talk to my clients about cannabis. And it's like, what? Like, are you like, okay, you're not talking to them about it, but they're definitely buying it, right? And you can be adding another service to your company. Actually, Black women are probably the most owners inside the home healthcare, you know, industry, specifically in Missouri, but also, you know, nationally. So just think about a way that you're in cannabis, you're not touching the flower, you're still being impactful. You got people to where, you know, you want to come to one place, but your cousin in one area, in another area. So it's definitely something. So as a cannabis business consultant, I have several, you know, like business models. And that's actually one of the most, you know, important that we could do. So if anyone is interested in this business model, it is already created. It is waiting for you to add the motivation and the passion and enthusiasm to get it done. So please reach out to me. I would love to help you do that. And shout out to Dad, because I think eating weed is like like, man, like, I don't know, like, why do you guys eat weed?
Small doses.
Yes.
I like it. Small doses for me.
Really?
Yeah. And I've had too much, and that's the only times that I've ever gotten too high was on edibles. But I am just like low dose. And I like it. Helps me sleep.
Okay. So, like, with me, I'll probably sleep until next year.
What?
Yeah.
I just like it when you say okay.
Really, like, I'm like, I'm processing.
It says everything. Nah.
So little words, 2 letters. But, yeah, no, so it took me...
Like, no.
It took me a while to really understand what my vendetta was with, you know, eating weed. Because I was just like, no, like, I'm a stoner. I've been doing this. Like, what do you mean? Like, I don't like to eat weed. But then, like, I was just like, yeah, no, Marne. Like, you just don't like it. And then when I started understanding, obviously, the properties that cannabis, Delta-9, THC, and CBN, CBG, the list goes on, right? So as soon as we add heat, a variant, you know, an outside variant to this plant, we then change the properties of it. So as we're, you know, smoking, we are consuming an undecarboxylated flower. So it's just Delta-9, and it's amazing. So we are actually consuming libations today. But I am not really a drinker. Drinking does not go well for me because apparently I lack an enzyme in my liver. So it is the same way that how we go throughout the process of making edibles. Once you decarboxylate it, it is now turned from THCV to THCA. It is now an activated property. It is no longer the Delta-9 consumption that from our, you know, smoking session. So it took me a while to really pinpoint it. And then I obviously realized that it wasn't for me, right? And like, why would I be mad about that? You know? So I like when people who start really understanding, you know, why they consume, and they're able to, like, you know, advocate, but actually stand firmly in their decision. You know what I mean? People like, oh no, like, this is like the best lemon bar ever, just have it. And I'm like, dude, like, I mean, I've ate weed before. I'm sure it's the best, but I said no, you know, and like, they're really shovey, you know. So yeah, man, like, shout out to people that don't eat weed and they stand on it because that's important.
That is becoming like a meme at this point, as far as people being like, no, actually, I don't like weed or whatever, edibles. And they're just like, you just haven't had the right type. Like, it's so obnoxious. Like, just take people at their word. Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. People are not into it. That's their business. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, I just dabbed, I think, like, recently for the first time within the last 2 years. And yeah, and I'm like, I think I'm okay with weed, you know. I just like, I like smoking. Yeah. So, but I think it's I mean, it's cool, I guess, for what it's worth. And that's really where the conversation of, like, the culture and the community, and then, like, you got the industry and, like, the, the professionalism. Because, honestly, most owners don't smoke, Like, well, I say local, like if you're a locally owned company, then I'm sure, you and your family smoke. When we talk like multi-state operators and stuff, like got this CEO who like used to sell products for another Fortune 500, because they're not a smoker, It was like most industry events, no one's outside smoking. But if you go to a community event, why are we outside smoking? We're all right here smoking, So, yeah, it's definitely two sides of the spectrum.
That was honestly, I have to say, that is like the determining factor to me. If there's smoke in the air or there's not smoke in the air.
Yeah.
And when there's not smoke in the air, I'm immediately like,
these not my people.
All right. What's going on? What are we doing?
Yep.
The fuck.
Yeah, I mean, and that's literally like, what are we doing? Because that's the question. Like, why are you here? You know, and I get some people do great. Like, they say don't smoke your own supply or whatever, right?
What?
So like back in the like, as you little, the dealers. It's like don't get high off your own supply.
For sure.
So it's like like if you are a cannabis connoisseur, that's cool. But at the same time, I think this specific industry needs the people that have experienced this or either been affected or impacted in some kind of way, because this is very traumatic. Like a lot of people's lives have changed because of so many things that those kind of people have put in place. It's like, okay, you ruined our lives, but go get rich, and that's the hard part. So I want to see people like us win, and we have to do that by taking times like this to really, shed light on like what's happening around us.
Yeah, and I'll just say, if there's ever anybody who's like at an industry event, I would just challenge anybody who is at all associated with the industry. Like, if somebody is telling you about an experience that happened to them, take an interest. Ask a question. Take 30 to 45 seconds to speak to that person and actually be engaged with them. Because when you don't, and then you're using, the fact that this is it's just, you guys got to walk,
No, you make
it's crazy, because like that's what all of this is being sold on right now. Right, is that prohibition needs to end, right? People need to be righted by what's been wronged. And then when you're actually presented with real opportunities to help, it doesn't happen. So, I don't know.
Yeah, like you make a valid point, and that's serious. I learned very quickly. So me personally, I had my own little tickers, and like I didn't have all the patience needed to really interact with people, and here I am hosting patient drives and like meeting, or like even the grow classes that we used to do, or like the education workshops. I met a lot of people at one time. So there were like so many different personalities. But one thing that I had to like, reiterate and remind myself all the time is that like you have to make them feel, and not like make them feel, you have to do what's necessary for them to know that they're important in those moments and in those conversations. Like I just knew, like, I guess I grew up with like a lot of lifetime, like, and like no jokes or anything, but like this plant for a lot of people has been so much, and a lot of people have unfortunately been torn away from their families by making this decision. Just so many things around the delicate intricacies of it. So I just wanted to always remind myself to be as personable as possible. Sometimes it's exhausting, but hang in there. And I think for like the community does not lack empathy, but I think there are some companies in the industry, Missouri specifically, that could be doing a lot more, and it does not take money to do a lot more, and that's where I think that's where the whole, what can we do? I'm like, oh, what can we do? And I'm just like, hey, if I have to think for you too, then like it's not genuine, So I'm still watching them figure out what they can do, and I just, I enjoy watching, So
I will say one thing, and I haven't experienced this personally, so I will disclaim with that. I have not experienced this. This is not my personal experience, but I have heard that there are companies in the marketplace that will openly tell people that they don't care if people were convicted of crimes, nonviolent cannabis, that they did the crime, they deserve the time, and they're sitting there with a dispensary open in the state. And I'm like, whoa, if that's true, that's wild. And I don't think it's not worthy of support at that point. Like, you can't really hold that position in this industry like that. That's wild.
Okay, so help me understand just a little bit.
Okay.
So you're saying, because now I'm ready. I'm like, those who
you
shall
haven't
not
heard
be
anything
named.
like that?
Oh no. I'm like, those that shall not be named.
Okay.
But I just want to make sure that I was.
I saw her taking drinks. So I knew what time it was.
Right. I was like, there you go. Nice cue.
Hey. So I do this.
Right. So basically, you're saying like people have committed some type of crime as well. And as an owner, that could be outside or inside of cannabis.
That's not what I was saying.
Okay, go ahead, because I want to be clear.
No. Mm-hmm. What I was saying is that we have a lot of talk and action around, like, nonviolent cannabis offenders, right? They're kind of, so the first round token was veterans. Mm-hmm. Second round token, expungement, these provisions, right? Uh-huh. So there's a lot of movement around social equity. Mm-hmm. It's a part of the conversation. Mm-hmm. And there are certain operators that I've heard, and I don't know this to be true, but that will openly say we don't care about that. That people took risks and are being punished and are incarcerated or serve time for exactly what we're doing here today. And they said, that doesn't matter to me. They did it when it was illegal. I'm doing it when it's legal. That's the difference.
Okay.
And that is wild to me.
Okay.
Like, that's a perspective that I'm like, whoa, you're doing the same thing that somebody else was doing 5 years ago, but it's okay for you and they can be behind bars, like, locked in a cage?
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay. That's insane.
Right. And shout out to Exit Now once again, us taking the forefront and actually setting up and implementing those resources. Big shout out to our sponsors that definitely have taken that stance as well with us in the industry. As someone who used to walk in the classroom every day ready to be the teacher's pet, it was like I really had to kind of write a paper about this. Like, if that kind of makes sense in my head, I was like, so if I had to, if I was arguing this in the court of law, like, what would my stance be? Because yes, they were knowingly committing crimes in a point of time to where it was illegal, right? However, the first point, which goes back to a paper I wrote my freshman year of college, and it highlighted crack versus cocaine, if that's okay to say on air.
Oh, come on now.
It's already said. But so yes. So with that being said, we talk about, a lot of political agenda that was put in place specifically in low-income, socioeconomic communities and Black and brown communities, right? Because cannabis at this point, this is a socioeconomic issue. When we compare U.S. Census data to low-income families, if we were to remove race out of that in some particular cases, it would be hard to determine what that race of family is. So at this point, we're not talking about, tax brackets and clearly saying white versus Black people, right? So with that being said, yes, those people were committing crimes. But if we take a step back and a further step back and one more step back, we talk about all the things that were put in place to make sure that specific people did not have, you know, certain opportunities. So unfortunately, the fact that they could have been caught with the same thing that person that's in jail was caught with, and still not have a record today. Right. So it's like, okay, it's like great. You
gamble.
know?
Like, oh, well, I mean, it's not. It's weighted in a certain direction, right? But it's still, oh, you happen to get away with these things and you don't have a record. Okay. You know.
Yeah. And that's really it. The thing is that, I mean, because a community had to get it from somewhere, right? Like, we didn't have the funds to grow it. I mean, so like we were getting it from somewhere. So if we have law enforcement patrolling a neighborhood, right? You're patrolling that community. You're not patrolling the community that it's being grown in. So, like, you're not following the pipeline. But also, once again, regardless of who grew it and who sold it, there are going to be two different types of punishments for it. So...
But I was going to say on one part that you were saying, I wouldn't even say that it's pushback. I would more so say, like, it's not even that we couldn't afford to grow. It's that we didn't even have the information. Most people didn't even know that, you know, that was an option. Yeah. Let's be real. Like, you know... Coming where we come from, it wasn't even an option for real for people to think on that type of level. It's always been a sales type level. We've always thought from that position. We've never thought about actually being the manufacturer of too much of anything. It's not until now that we've kind of started to get the education of, you know, we can grow this in our home. And so now when you get that perspective of growing it in your home, now you get the bigger perspective of, I could do this as a whole business.
Yeah. And honestly, like, in that context, like, affordability meant like way more than, you know, monetization. Like, we couldn't afford to get caught being the person growing. If you're gonna bust me for just the grams that I got, imagine you coming in the house and seeing the closet, you know, or the neighbors getting a whiff of it, you know. Like Biggie said, he was just trying to feed his daughter, you know, he had a neighbor hating on him. Right. So we had a lot of different factors. So to just, you know, go back to the point of owners unfortunately feeling that people that have unfortunately been caught up in the system for non-violent marijuana offenses don't deserve avocation is probably one of the most, like, disheartening things, you know, that I have not heard, you know, from anyone. But I am very sure that is a thought process because, you know, unfortunately, the pushback that Exit now gets is crazy. But everyone's like, oh, yeah, because... For instance, the IP that we potentially may be voting for, right? Everyone's like, oh, no, but, like, what about the expungement verbiage? Well, that expungement verbiage that was very broad and vague, unfortunately, you have to learn black and white, right? In law, specifically. Black and white is the words on the paper. And if it does not say it, then it does not do it. So with that being said... The ramifications of expungement in that language does not benefit people like us that have been wronged in the system. And then also, if you've already been convicted, you aren't the one being advocated for. So if you pay close attention to the language, it does not advocate for prior convictions and charges. So we're talking about thousands of people that still, if we vote this and like, oh yeah, so my cousin or my family member can get out now, or even like some people are advocating for their parents, you know, of all walks of life. And unfortunately that wouldn't, you know, be the case. And the same people that wrote that IP are the same people, you know, that rumor mill, you know, comes from. So there's a lot of truth inside of that, and we don't see the support here, you know. Prior to Exit Now, there wasn't a lot of talk from, you know, Last Prisoner Project or anything. So hopefully, you know, we can get people in the state to, you know, partner and help us out. But at the same time, as you all see, we are getting it done, and we're going to continue to do that with or without their help.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, the 3 pound thing, and I get it. Like, people that have no concept of how cannabis grows might not understand that 3 pounds is really not
That's
a big.
nothing.
It's not a big amount.
Yeah.
3 pounds. I mean, an outdoor plant is typically much more than 3 pounds. One plant. So, you know, that's something that always hangs me up when I see it. I'm like,
yeah.
And I've heard people, you know, just say, well, if you have 3 pounds, then what the fuck, you know, what are you doing?
What are you doing? You're not medicating.
You grew maybe one outdoor plant, potentially. Like, okay, I don't know. That part is really hard for me to move past, to be honest.
Yeah, and too, like, sometimes people don't have, if someone in their family has a lot of land, why couldn't it be that they're providing for their whole family? It doesn't have to be for a sale per se. What if I'm just providing for my whole family?
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, just imagine in general, why are we regulating something that is growing? Like, how has this become? I mean, well, I can't say how, because like even fruits and vegetables have been monetized, right? But it's like how have, for one, you know, you talk about, you know, the controlled substance list, right? Where are we, even inside of like the characterization of plants and flowers and all of that, to where now this plant it has its psychoactive component, right? But it has not been proven to cause any, you know, harm or death that has, you know, been detrimental to the country or internationally. And yet here we are making this one of the most, you know, hazardous things to, you know, to appear in the earth, you know. So like that's the first problem, like with me. But when we talk about like federal like legalization and everything, I don't support it. So like I don't support the legal cannabis industry because it's not legal. You know, and if we were to just remove the plant from the scheduled controlled substance list, we alleviate all the crime and all the blanket or the stigma behind it just by removing it. And then we're all able to grow this just like we're growing any other, you know, fruits or, you know, vegetation. And like that's the problem. And like when we talk about things like social equity, you know, minority inclusion and like fair access, it bothers me that like even some of the smartest people are still like, oh, like we want the U.S., you know, Congress to federally legalize cannabis. And I'm like, well, why do we want to have Walmart and Costco selling, you know, a surplus of cannabis when we haven't even been given the opportunity? Because that's the same thing what the owner is saying now. They're like, oh, well, why should I advocate for them when I wasn't breaking the law? Well, Walmart's going to come and knock them over and say, well, you didn't, you know, you weren't illegally operating, but now it's our world, right? Mm-hmm. So like I don't understand how anyone that could be happy that you know, it's becoming a normal business for, you know, small and upcoming families to get into, to be like, hey, let's invite the whole economy in this. Like no, we don't win like that. Yeah. So yeah, it's been very interesting, like coming from like my background in, you know, finance and accounting. I do a lot of market cost analysis, and I did a lot for the applications in Missouri back in 18 and 19. And I can't wrap my mind around it. And then sometimes I'm like, I'm smart, but I'm not like that smart, you know. And then I'm like, well, hey, some people are just not that smart either. And those are the people.
No, real shit.
Yeah.
For real.
And like, but they're the ones that are like sitting with headphones and mics on all day talking about shit. And you know, like they have all these viewers, and then like the top percentage of magazines and stuff, like they go out and find them, and that's what they partner with. And I was like, oh yeah, you know, like social equity for everyone, and like this, they like know 3, you know, vocabulary words. And like we just need we need people that aren't afraid, you know, to take the risk, you know, and really stand up for what's right now. Yeah.
people are scared to do it. That's a fact.
For sure. Yes,
I bet. Yeah, I be fucking with the filters with mine. You know?
Yes, I see. I wasn't ready. Got it now.
You know, I'm still working on my joint rolling skills.
I know.
That's where I lack
Hey,
the filter
there.
part.
Don't worry about it. I know.
You know what?
man.
I don't want to hear from you. I need you to win a contest first.
Okay.
I'm actually on your side 'cause I don't roll J's and I don't smoke them. So
Really? So you a blunt?
backwoods. I'm a
Oh man.
Yes. I come from the trenches. No, listen, my mama will whoop me. Like, girl, you did not come from the trenches. I actually.
Backwoods are like kind of a lot for me, but I used to always smoke like the cigarillos.
Yeah.
That was like easier for me than a backwood. Backwoods are more harsh than a cigarillo, like a nice flavored like peach cigarillo is better.
She said a flavored Rello. That's funny.
The 2 for $1 white owls or whatever they were.
Oh no, it was always like
The grape. They used to smoke the grape. What's it?
Swisher?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, that's like Swisher.
And
Yeah.
Peach Optimos. I don't know that company, but yeah.
Black and mild wood tip.
Ugh, those were rough though.
Yeah. No, that was the thing. I moved down to Georgia in 2017. And so it's like a super strict state. You don't want to get caught with cannabis because like you're going to jail.
Damn.
So yeah, like no, it's the thing. And like so like a lot of people down there like, you know, roll up like Damiana and like CBD.
I don't know that one.
It's Damiana is actually the most compared herb to the THC correlation. So very, very light psychoactive response. But pair it with some good CBD, you'll be okay. Yeah, so it's been crazy just really transitioning from seeing how seeing how crazy, you know, everything has been, and then up until now it's like, whoa, you know.
So what are you focusing on now? So you got Exit Now coming up. Am I
Yeah.
allowed to say? I mean, you sound like you're kind of taking off. You're out of here.
Oh, yep. So the dispensary will be opening very soon. Shout out to everyone that's been like following the path and the journey. And you're like, girl, when is it coming? But when 3 people, like literally, I think we're all like, I don't even think one of our owners even turned 30 yet. But so we're self-funded. We have been building this dispensary from the ground up out of our own pockets since last April. And yeah, like we are very excited that when the day comes, you all will know. We're definitely going to have a lot of opportunities for our grand opening weekend. We're shooting actually for, which will probably your birthday weekend, but 7/10, so July 10th and 11th.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're going to have a lot of cool events down. We're in OKC, so we're in Oklahoma, but it's very easy to get your temporary card in Oklahoma, so we're going to do a few things with the clinic here to get people ready, like if they want to, participate and support us.
Oh, so we could get the temporary card like just by staying here in Missouri. We don't have to. We can just do it over the phone, right?
Yeah, so yeah, like online.
Okay.
Yep. So you like fill out a form and everything.
We're coming like X date or whatever. Or how long do they last?
So it's 30 days.
Okay.
Yep. And then you don't need to see a doctor again. So we're gonna have it to where we're gonna charter some buses for people, but like have a whole weekend. So you'll have your temp cars, you can support. But we're also like collabing with other companies in the area. Like of course, the first thing I feel bad even having to go into someone else's community, to open up my dispensary. So the first thing on, my list was community engagement. We're actually in a Hispanic community in OKC. So it was really cool. We actually worked with the companies in the community to build, and so it was really awesome. Supporting the community, they're really happy to have us. So I'm full-time OKC in the next couple weeks, actually right after the conference next week. But a lot of people that have been following me, I've been back and forth Oklahoma for about a year and a half. half now. But I am very excited. I'm a country girl, so I am ready to like get back to the open road and just enjoy some fresh air. It's been really exhausting these last 3 years, but most importantly the last year building out. So got to get down there and man the station. All about daily operations. All your coins are in there, so you got to make sure it works.
All right, hold up. We got to give you a round of applause for that.
Thanks.
That is dope.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
What's the name of the dispensary?
Yes, Herblo Cannabis Co. Yep, and where we focus, and we actually do packaging and labeling for cannabis dispensaries down in Oklahoma as well. So we will be launching all of our ancillary companies. So my main focus is actually hemp at the moment. So I do a lot of hemp contracts and help a lot of farmers get a lot of the biomass off of the shelf. So I'm really hoping to boost the packaging and labeling industry with some hemp and 3D printed supplies. So the main goal is to create this sustainable, eco-friendly industry, and if I got to do it by myself, then that's cool. I want to see hemp roads outside. We were driving over 1,000 potholes a day, and if we had hemp roads, we would never have to repay for hundreds and hundreds of years, right? And then MoDOT's like, well, Marne, that's thousands of jobs. And I'm like, well, then you create a trade, and then you show them how to make hempcrete for them to go out and fix the roads, right? It just sounds like common sense, but then,
Common sense ain't common.
It's not. So I'm going to go buy some acres and register a sustainable city, and I'm going to create a hemp cul-de-sac.
I like that.
Yeah, so come on down. There'll be a lot for sale for everybody. No, I'm serious. We're doing shipping containers, rainscaping.
Because you can make houses out of hempcrete also, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Mm-hmm. Okay. It's like hemp blocks and installation. Yeah, so a whole sustainable city. So I got to come down and smoke with me.
I fuck with that. You already know.
Yeah.
Told you trying to go countrywide next year, so
I know. It would
have to be one of our stops.
So I've never been to Oklahoma ever.
Really?
Oh.
I know.
Yeah.
I got to come out. I mean, it's crazy. I can't believe that. Have you?
I got family in Oklahoma.
I've never been over there.
Everyone I meet's never been to Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
Everyone. So don't feel bad. They're like, why are you in Oklahoma?
Well, I feel like if you're in weed, you've been to Oklahoma. I mean, you know.
Even then, a lot of people, that's not a stop.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't, focus or put a spotlight on Oklahoma. But real quick, just to share a stat and some facts, Oklahoma is the largest black-owned cannabis industry in the country. So shout out to the state of Oklahoma. Shout out to the minorities that are down there getting it, making their dreams come true. So, and a lot of people say, oh, we're not winning. We don't have the opportunities. One thing you have to look at is, why are they winning down there? Why are they, the largest percentage of owners in legislation? So, yeah. So we got to do something different.
Yeah. I feel like we've seen this play out in a few different states, quite a few states now. Yeah. And we've had time to see the results. So 10 years ago, it was like, oh, this is new, this is fresh. Okay, yeah, let's do this. We're still trying to use the same model right now, 2022. And it's not even going to be implemented for a while. It's very outdated. It's going to need to be amended in a serious way right away. So I just don't understand why we would do that.
But yeah, our government is our government is also outdated. So we talk about the people that create the program and create the language, and then it's so funny because I have a lot of conversations just by my avocation, and I look at them and I'm like, you really think that makes sense? Because you're taking a model from for instance, a health and beauty industry, or your family's, let me see. Like, I can't, like, just a correlation, like, of all these different, so I definitely don't want to offend anyone. Someone's listening, like, well, we sell that, But, yeah, so, like, with that being said, they're trying to add their own, specific knowledge, and it's like not off the marker because this was a black market profession, and most of them don't know how to be black market criminals. So with that being said, they don't understand like marketing, they don't understand the business acumen needed, and like ultimately they're just like very far away from the people that are actually purchasing the product. And I mean, that's going to be everyone's like, withdrawal with like dispensaries in certain communities. It's like, I would never go into there, and that's understandable, so yeah, it's the circle of life. It's so crazy.
Yeah. I just feel like there should be a market for where like, it's fine for dispensaries, but there should be a variety of the product that they sell. It should be able to go from a corporate brand to a mom and pop brand.
Just like the grocery stores, Grocery stores around here carry local products. It's not, I don't know.
Yeah, they got a little local section in Schnucks.
For sure. I don't see why it's not factored in. I do see why, but yeah, it's unfortunate.
But imagine that you could literally write in legislation that in order for a multi-state operator, and you can make the definition of a multi-state operator to be someone who owns licenses in 3 or more medical or, recreational states. In order for them to come in and own a license, they have to pair with a small business owner who has been in a specific zip code as a sustainable business for 3 years or lived in this city or this zip code for this long, right? So why isn't it happening? Because what I just said are words that could be put in place and voted on. Nothing that I said was illegal. So think about the fact that we care about the advancement of people. And then you have the people that are making the language that do not care about it's all about the profit. So that's the next. So I don't believe in social equity because if you didn't create the barriers, I wouldn't need to be included. And that's where you can correlate Oklahoma. There's no barrier. You paid $2,500 and the city comes out and they make sure that your HVAC, your electric, and your plumbing is up to code. Mm-hmm. And then in less than 30 days, you have your license. Mm-hmm. You don't have to show $250,000 worth of capital liquidation. You don't have to, and then people say, well, in order to operate in this business, it's going to take you $1 million. Well, no, it took you $1 million. But I can go in Oklahoma into a plaza and pay $1,100 for rent or $900. I can set up one shelf case and 10 varieties of flour. And guess what? That's my dispensary. And I'm going to be happy if I make $1,000 that week or then $1,000 that day. And then if I just so happen to become a millionaire because my brand, my customer service, my quality, my impact brings people to my business, then shout out to me. But I don't think people wake up and say, I want my business to be a profitable $1 million business. But I don't think it's because they're in cannabis. I think it's because they work hard, they've put all they've had into it, and they want a return on it, right? And I just think that cannabis, most owners in cannabis are some of the selfish people ever, and they don't give back as much as they can, and when people put this country on their backs just by becoming the first to be in prison for it because they took a risk. And if they did not do what they did, we would not be here because these conversations wouldn't be happening. So for anyone who has, you know, any opportunity in this space that feels like they shouldn't want, you know, people to be, you know, right or advocated for being in prison, like that is just like absurd to me, like crazy. Yeah.
That should be bare minimum, you know, in my opinion. But a lot of people really don't see it that way. So that's the challenge that we have, you know.
Yeah.
It's always like comforting to me when I get somebody who understands that and feels the same way, because to me it's just like, how could you not? But unfortunately, it's not, you know.
Yeah, but I'm from Missouri. I've been here. I grew up here my whole life.
Yeah.
And then like when I started going to other, you know, cities and stuff like that, definitely saw a different type of interaction, you know, with other groupings of people. And I was just like, dag, like it's really sunny on this side of, you know, the country. And that's just it. And like Missouri, like the Midwest is just, you know, really hard once again, for a socioeconomic grouping of people, you know, because like if you don't have money, you don't have money. You're the same. They don't see color, and they give it like, we don't see color. I know you don't. Like I didn't say you did, you know. So yeah, like it's real. So yeah, I suggest people definitely pay attention to the language. If you do plan on voting in November, and when I say if you do plan on voting, please understand you do not have to cast a vote. If you do not understand what you are voting for, the best thing that you can do is to not cast a vote. But definitely read. I hope there's, you know, platforms that, you know, break down what it means, you know, to possibly vote that type of recreational initiative into place. And I just wish Missouri the best, you know. Like, look, peace out.
Yeah,
like
she's
Homer.
getting on a plane. Yeah. You can like see her like running through the airport with her bags right now. She's out of here.
Yeah, seriously. But please know, like, just and real quick, like I really wish that my dispensary, you know, was in my hometown. But we do have opportunities for home growers and cultivators to be on our shelves in Oklahoma. So if you are an awesome home cultivator, or you know you've been growing in the black market, I get so many people. I'm like, you know, how long have you been growing? They're like, oh, and I'm like, how long have you been growing? Like, I don't have handcuffs in my back pocket. But no, seriously, like I know there are so many talented people who even thought that like they would get a chance to even just be a worker in the Missouri industry, and unfortunately were slighted because they just flew people in from other, you know, flourishing facilities to, you know, work here. We have opportunities for you to create, you know, any types of breeds or seeds, you know, and flowers. Of course, it has to be quality, so there's a conversation, you know, that we do have to have. But our goal is to have partnerships and provide, you know, different types of relationships with those people who did not get the chance to do that in Missouri. So like have like a flagship, you know, section of, like you said, where how the grocery store has a local, you know, we want a Missouri, like, you know, not just one shelf, but a section of home, like brands of all types. So definitely I'll make sure you all have my information. Emails, pictures, all of that. The dispensary is opening very soon, so this is a conversation that I would love to have. You know, we've been building with other people, so, and the more the merrier.
Most definitely.
For sure.
Love it.
Yes.
Good luck. Right on. I know it's been a lot of work to get here.
Yeah, it definitely has, and I'm just excited to be at the end of the road. It has all as most things happen, you know, the unexpected. So it was like we had a deadline. We thought we were going to open the end of last year. And it was like right before they took the licenses from everyone, all that stuff. It was actually what ended up being our roadblock was the reason why most of the licenses were seized. And that was because handicap accessible bathrooms. So at first, like, Oklahoma was really like the Wild Wild West. Everyone's like, oh my God, there's no rules. And they were right. There weren't any rules. Please don't be mad at me, Oklahoma, but I am possibly one of the reasons that you all do have metric, because there was no way I was opening up a business without a metric system.
Ooh, you gotta fire some shots or drop a bomb or both on that one. Oh my God.
Hey, I mean...
Marne.
That was the only sensible. Because at the end of the day,
Hold on. Let me collect myself.
Yes. No, but let's talk about it. Like, so at the end of the day, like, this plant is going into your body, and like, you're consuming it.
Yep.
And it is really important. Like, of course, I don't want them to track it for like money purposes.
No.
You know,
that's not even what I'm saying. But why is it always fucking metric? Where is the other vendors?
Gotcha.
Like,
And
why is metric dominating the entire country? Like, what is going on?
well, no, there are several other options.
Okay.
Yeah, like metric is like although it is a company, it's also like it's the most commonly used one, but you don't have, like, even the facilities, you don't have to be on metric. You can have another tracking system.
Okay.
It just has to, like, be equivalent to metric.
What's up with metric? What's their back? Do you know? Like, why are they who they are? That's wild to me. They have talk about a monopoly. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, but I like in that case. I
don't know anything about their company.
No, you're all good. Like, in that case, I just think, like, you know, if someone does something very well and something that, like, important and of, like, high value, then yeah, like, go for it. So for one, I'm sure it costs a lot to even create the, like, platform and infrastructure for the system integration.
Sure. Like, the
so I'm
only
sure
option.
I'm sure there are a lot of, like, tech and engineers on it. I think like metric has been, like, one of the most, you know, trying to think of, like, the word of them being, like, just, like, camouflage, like they don't do anything in the industry, and, like, they don't have, like, a stance or anything.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, they're just, like, a system and software company. So yeah, I think, like, it's all good, but there are, like, you can, like, you basically put a bid in, so just like any other contract, like the government and stuff, so, like, you just go to the state, like, right now, like, there's a bid open to be the what's it called? Not the storage, but the disposal of cannabis here. I mean, they still, like, and there's several companies that can do it. They don't just have, like, one contract. But obviously there's going to be one company that's going to do it the best. Yeah, you know. And which is all, like, that's, like, a great contract to, like, look into. 'Cause, like, dispose, they don't have, like, a definition of what disposing is, and it's like, oh, okay, so, like, I threw it away and, like, now I'm creating things, because, like, I don't, like, what are you disposing from the plant? Like, I'm guessing just stock, obviously. So then we talk about fiber, and then we talk about hemp, and then it's like you have a massive supply of free disposable seeds and stems. So yeah, there's a lot of things that, you know, can be done. And then now you're building, you know, eco-friendly homes. You talk about, like, you know, autism and asthma, like ADHD. A lot of that is correlated inside of the type of homes and installations. Concrete is one of the most hazardous materials that, you know, we could be the toxins that we could be consuming from just concrete means with and of certain material, you know. So it's very important we live in our homes like 99% of our life, and that's where
not Donovan, only us.
I mean, like, seriously, right? He's in the club, so hopefully the club has some hemp fiber installation.
and furniture. Like, yeah, we can get it.
When I create my nightclub, eventually it will have all of that.
Heck yeah, and I would love to be your project manager. I'm all with it. No, I'm serious. Like, I've already, I made a few hempcrete blocks a few years ago. It's super easy. Like, literally, we could really make it on the show like one time. It's super easy. It takes like 10 minutes, and then you just build a house one day. You know?
I've seen it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I've seen the videos. I'm like, oh, wow.
Like, I could do this. Get a little mixing bowl, right? Like, yeah, go get some lime.
No, we ain't doing no hemp house. We doing a hemp high rise.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like that's where I'm at in life from here on out. Like, I don't know. Like, I've lived in Heights for a while now, even before this, and now it's just kind of like I like living up high. So I can't see myself not doing it anymore.
I used to be down the street from here, top floor, and it was great for a while. And then the elevators and all the parking, it gets overrated. Wait till you have some kids. And then you're going to be like, oh, high rise. All the groceries that you got to carry up. Wait, oh, you're not grocery shopping. That's what that
I
is.
go grocery shopping too.
Okay.
Dang,
No,
you
just
trying to say I ain't got no responsibilities, huh?
No, I'm just, like, you could eat, not saying you eat out, but like, it'd be easier just like, hey, before I come in the house and grab some food.
I can cook.
Okay, can you cook?
Yeah.
Okay, that's lit.
Come on, man.
You got a cooking segment too.
One day.
Okay, I'm about to try some of this food though.
Oh, man.
Is that cracking? Yes. Luckily, it won't be infused, so we're all good.
Nah.
Yeah,
I ain't ready for
that.
that.
You said you're not ready. It's super easy. Just get the can of butter and you substitute it. Whatever the butter says, you put the can of butter in it.
See, I feel like it's more. I would want to be more detailed than that because I would want to make sure like you could eat the whole thing.
Yeah, no. So definitely like infuse the sauces in that instance, so that way you could give like the people the option. So my 29th birthday was my golden birthday. I turned 29 on the 29th. And I had like a little infused dinner down here downtown. And like, of course, I don't eat weed. So I'm like, yeah, lamb chops without the infused stuff. But, like you have options to infuse like, even like the salad dressing. And it's just as easy as literally getting the like oil and, placing it in there. But of course, the most important part, and as a cannabis business consultant, my edible makers are some of the funniest clients I have, okay? Because my first question before they just like, here, stuff this in your mouth, is just like, what's in it? Like, what is the dosage? How much weed is in it? And they're just like, I don't know, but everyone was asleep last night. And I'm like, okay, great. Thank you. And like, I love you guys dearly. And like, y'all be in these streets and the vendor shows, pop-ups, all of it. But you guys have to start adding, especially the fact that this is a business now. We're no longer wrapping brownies in Ziploc bags, right? So packaging, just get some packaging. It's really easy to figure out the dosage inside of your products. Please email me. I will send you over a guide. If you can't follow the guide, I will send you over a 15-second little video. Okay, but we're gonna figure this out because people are consuming this the same way you make products. The FDA and forgot the other little agency real quick, but people that are consuming your products need to know the ingredients that are in it, okay? Especially patients, because if they are consuming for a specific reason, after you've solidified a regimen, like if you're sick, like for instance with me, I suffer from chronic nausea. It took me 6 years to get a handle on this chronic nausea. So really one day I woke up and I was like, oh, wow, like I'm not psyching myself out. I really don't feel this. And I've never felt this. And it took me a while to even embrace the fact that I wasn't feeling it. Well, I unfortunately just, ended up hitting someone's J one day. And like for weeks, the nausea came back because just as as long as it took for me to, you know, reset my receptors, whatever terpene that was in that flower was able to like make that imbalance, right? So yeah, I spent weeks trying to get back right, and that's when I realized, like, okay, like, you're no longer smoking just for the fun of it, and you really have to get a gauge, you know. So you start feeling a little weird, or, you know, you're no longer being as happy as you were consuming cannabis, do a reset, you know. You ever heard of undo? Yeah, so like keep some undo. If you don't, or you never heard of it or don't know how to get it, definitely Google UN.
Oh wait, it's a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like the
like actually undo.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
No,
So
okay,
like,
yeah.
have you ever heard of undo? Oh, okay. Definitely, I'm gonna bring you some down to the shop, because it's like just really cool to have on hand for people like when you're doing events and stuff. So undo has like this property in it that will really, so it resets your receptors to as if you've never consumed cannabis before. So most people that are like too high and like, you know, either smoke or, you know, consume CBD. So undo has another like classification of a, you know, plant property in it that resets your everything.
What is it?
Yeah. So I'm actually not. So I'm not too sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of the
black peppercorn terpene base.
And you know what, that may be, I'm trying to think of actually what the black peppercorn terpene name is, and it's like it's on the tip of my tongue. But yeah, so I think it's in correlation with another one. Definitely let us know, because that's important. But
that's fucking hard, Joe.
yeah,
Nah, shout out T over there. That was hard.
yeah.
Social T.
Yeah. Come from behind the camera right there. I'm scared to say it now.
Well, no, I just read that article. I think it was Neil Young and MIT did a study.
Yep.
What?
Mm-hmm. And I love MIT studies.
The properties, I forgot, I'll look it up, but there's a certain terpene in that if you basically crush black peppercorn in your mouth, it gets away the anxiety, just like over smoking or something didn't really sit well.
Really?
Yes.
What a trip.
And it really works, you know. So yeah, so just imagine like people that want to like, you know, kick their like cigarette smoking habits and all of that. Like there are, you know, ways to do that. Like you have the CBN patches now, like over like people, I think only like half a patch and like, you know, over 3 or 4 day time. So yeah, like cannabis is out here like really, you know, saving lives. So it's really dope for, you know, us to be in this space, and like, you know, just continue to bring awareness around it.
And I will say, we've had some pretty like conscientious edible makers and bakers, like that really understand what they're doing. And they do it super well, and they're into the terpene. Like, there's some real talent out there. And there's people that aren't going through that process and doing it and labeling it properly, but there's people that are. Yeah. And they're killing it.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, you guys are amazing. Yeah.
We've had some amazing edible makers on here. Shout out Space Streets, STL Space Streets.
Okay.
Shout out Mad World Edibles. One of my personal favorites, those two ladies.
Today is actually STL Space Street's birthday, so give her a
hey, we gonna drop a bomb for her. Yeah. Drop a bomb for Jamesa. Happy birthday.
Jamesa, yes, happy birthday. But yeah, no, so with that being said, like, that's a lane too, because think about it, going recreational means like, okay, it's like, is there a cannabis grocery store? Like, are there infused dressings and cheese and you give them like, and yes, like that could be a world, right? But what you don't want to be is the last person trying to figure out what, you know, like you need to know your serving sizes. If you have 250 milligrams in the brownie, how many servings are in, you know, like you have to do it. And I get it, science and math, probably two of the hardest subjects for most people. Luckily, those are the two subjects that I excel very well in. So if you need help, I am here. But I get a lot of my clients that are like, you know, I want to be on dispensary shelves, especially, you know, the edible and product makers, and that's the most important part, is understanding what is in your product, how it will affect people, and also obviously you need to know this stuff because you'll be liable for people consuming your products. So yeah, like we go over everything in our consultations, from how to register your business as an ancillary cannabis company. Please understand, if you do not have a legal facility license, you should not be registering your business as a cannabis company. For one, that's illegal. And then for two, you're just flagging yourself and making it a lot harder for you to operate and do anything, from opening a bank account to collecting sales. I get a lot of people who get kicked off of PayPal and Square and all that because they're edible makers make a lot of money, because that's it's quite easier for most people to eat than to smell like smoke and roll up and everything. But yeah, you don't want to be doing great business, everything is great, and then one day you wake up with almost $40,000 seized, like me. Yeah. Yeah, they got me back in 2019, and I was just like, what? And I'm like, yes. And they just sent like a message like, yeah, we're not going to talk to you for 6 months about it.
What?
And I was like, yes, like there's like an investigation period. And I'm like, huh? Like all my money like it's just sitting here and it's gone. Yeah, so it was once again like me being able to get through those things, right? And other people as well. But imagine if I could help people not get, be in that moment, I'd rather do that, So a lot of people, oh, well, they're embarrassed or something like that. And I'm like, man, no, please learn from all of my failures. I did it wrong, completely wrong. I lost thousands of dollars. Listen to me,
Did they give it back?
Yeah, so I got that back. Yes, I did. I was very excited. But then they kicked me off. So I'm on the restricted list.
On what, Square?
I got kicked off of Square and PayPal. So Square was first, and then PayPal was first. PayPal was the ones that took the $40,000 for the 6 months. Went to Square, almost made it a year with Square. And what was so messed up was that the clinic was doing so well that Square offered the company a business loan. So we accepted the loan because for one, we're operating on the third-party processor. So they were like, send us over a contract. So, which is basically, they were like a contract from the client, right? Mm-hmm. So basically stating like this is type of the consulting that you do. So no worries, I send over a contract and everything. So they approved the business loan. So 3 months later, and we're paying, and like how the loan was set up was really great. Like you had a certain amount of time to pay it back or whatever throughout the month. But if you made your daily sales and you made it was working well for my business. Mm-hmm. So I wake up 3 months later and I have an email saying, oh, well, you breached this contract because you have a high-risk business and you failed to disclose that information with us. And I'm like, you asked me for my website. You asked me for my articles of incorporation. You asked me for my contract and I sent 2 contracts from clients, 2 different ones. So at what point did I fail to tell you my business name is Fleurvert, in French is Green Flower Academy. I don't think I could hide this too well, which is why I disclosed the information. So I ended up having to pay back the loan because I didn't want the percentage that was going to accrue because of them being like, this contract is null and void, and now since you breached it, here's how much you owe. So went from there. And but shout out to QuickBooks. QuickBooks is amazing, and they do not care about what you're doing in cannabis. They just want to take your money every month. So I mean, but it works, you
Shout
know.
out QuickBooks.
Yeah, they're a little expensive though. But I mean, you gotta pay to play, I guess, you know. But
that's what they say.
But one amazing thing about QuickBooks, obviously, is that it's a accounting service, and it's like a bookkeeper. So at the end of the month, you have all the reports that you need generated for tax purposes. And for someone who I used to prepare taxes for, the general public. But also, this was my first year not doing my own taxes. I had to do 3 Schedule Cs, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm not going to go to jail for taxes.
Right.
Like, I'm okay. And this is my first time since the dispensary, had to file taxes and take a complete L.
Really?
Year. Yeah, we've been building out no income, just
rough.
expenses. Yes, which tanked the clinic because the clinic had profit, but man, so yeah, shout out to this. Like, I feel like a grown up. This is my first year feeling like a grown up. So shout out to taxes.
Okay.
Good and bad.
I know.
But yes, so I say that to say those are the woes in the cannabis business, but then we have our highs, which are very high. So it's all worth it. Times like this are worth it, smiling, hanging out, and, just sharing our stories. It's always really cool. It reminds me of what I do this for, and it really, keeps me going. So thank you.
Thank you.
Coming on. Yeah.
That was dope.
Yes, it's been fun.
It was a good time.
Yeah, see, and
Glad to hang out.
we still gave them 2 hours worth of content.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
wow. We've been here all day.
Hey.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was cool.
I'm glad to be back. It was a long break. This was a great episode to start back on.
Oh, yeah.
It's fun.
I like it when they kind of run this long, though. I kind of like one of these days we're going to be doing 3-hour podcasts and shit.
3 hours. Okay.
I've been having to pee for like the last 20.
Well, you had 2.
I know.
Yeah, we'll have to start taking breaks somewhere in between.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Well, we're going to have you on again. Like, this was dope. This was
Thank
definitely
you.
fun.
Thank you. I would love to.
You already know. I guess we'll save the audience question for the next episode.
Yeah, we got a bunch of responses on the Q&A, and there's some really fun ones, but yeah, we'll do it next time.
Okay. All right. So then let them know what your socials are, Marne.
Yes, so you can find me on Instagram, Queen_of_Terpenes, as well as follow Exit Now on Instagram. It's Exit Now and _ at the end. And you can find me on Facebook, Marne, MARNE, Madison. And I think that's about it. Yeah, I'm on Twitter, but I don't use it. So, but if you are on Twitter, it's the Queen of Terpenes. Yeah, cool. I use I go to Twitter for the headlines. Apparently, Twitter knows everything first, and then all the other social media sites.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I was like a year behind on like a lot of stuff.
Really?
So I didn't have a Twitter.
What?
Yeah.
See, I had a Twitter since high school.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I gave up on it like mid-college.
Really?
Yeah. I miss MySpace, so.
That was that shit.
It was.
The top 8.
Yep, the top 8.
Okay, cool. You can find us at Grow Gear in South City, Lindenwood Park neighborhood, and Grow Gear STL on all socials.
All right. Did you want to sign out?
I mean, I got nothing, but what's up?
We'll see Tyler next time. Socialist Tea.
That's right.
Hey.
All right, so y'all already know. Follow the homie Ryan Risky Fargo on all social media platforms, and also follow Flucker. Don't forget to follow TooT3rpd on Instagram. Then don't forget to follow us on YouTube. Then don't forget to hit up that hotline 314-399-9711 with the calls and not the calls. Shit, the voicemails and the text. Then don't forget to follow me, Donovan 2408 on all social media platforms. Wow. All right, so y'all already know. It's been another episode of the TooT3rpd podcast, and we will see y'all next time. Ooh. Forgot to do the outro. All right, now, peace.
It's 2 2 2 Terp.